Here we are. Finally, I have time to make another video in English about Imagzle. How happy are you? I am. I get a lot of the time the question, how do you create new levels? Let's explore the process. Everything starts with an idea. The first 100 levels were really easy. It just came out of my mind. They were topic and really new. And that's why the first 100 levels are a bit more creatively weird than others. That's why you have a burning book that can be anything, and I learned that's a bad idea. And then I needed to find new things. For example, at a certain point I decided to have a look at the top 1000 inventions in history and click on each link and have a look and see what can become a level and what cannot. So more idea arises, more stuff to study, more stuff to write. At a certain point, I was lucky enough that some players really loved the game and started sending suggestions over, which was great. At the beginning, I was collecting all the ideas. Then some people wanted to go the extra mile. They wanted to actually write a level, either because they were scientists or they were experts in a field and they really knew what they were talking about, or because they really wanted to help. Both things I really appreciate. It's really hard to write a level about something you know nothing about. That's when I developed the tool that you can find on the website that allow you to write the code for the level, and I try to explain how to make it. For example, Imagzle levels are never based on language. There was a guy that sent me an amazing level with the Master of a Ship and a Margarita, to say the Master and Margarita, the Russian book. That's something Imagzle never does. I never force language, and that's because there's a lot of times in which something is translated completely different in other languages. It sounds very obvious, but it's not, even for things that you really think are universal. Think about Pac-Man. It was called Puckman, but it sounds too close to something else, so it was sold outside of Japan as Pac-Man. Once the idea is ready, I give it to the designers to draw. I use Trello, but it doesn't really matter. I have a column where designers can go there and pick up any level they want to draw. I like to work in a way that's called holacracy. Holacracy means that I trust the people I work with and I give them space to express how they want. They can go there, they can pick any level they like and draw it. If they don't like something, they're completely free to do it. As long as I don't have a specific need, I never push people to do something. If there is something special, like Christmas special drawing or something like that, then I do ask. But otherwise, they have the freedom to work whenever they want, as they want, how much they want, and I try to be a bit in advantage with levels so I don't run out. But it happened a couple of times that I asked Paulina to draw something quickly because I didn't have much left. So at that point, the drawing is done. It's time to double check that everything matches and put it in a game. The hardest part is positioning it. It sounds very easy, kind of try to put a number and then go lower, go left or right. It's a bit annoying. It's still doable. I try to release levels every week, at least in Italian. And then I try to translate them in English quickly. And I love to have them reviewed, but that's really hard because, funny enough, English is the only language where I don't always have someone to help me with. And I don't know why that happened, but probably because living as a foreigner in the UK, you meet people from everywhere except England. I don't know. So I generally translate after work. I'm pretty tired. I do make mistakes, so now I'm trying to do things a bit differently. There is a chat for when you finish the entire game, and I kind of use that as a way to understand how many people in that language want new levels. And again, because Italian is the biggest one, I'm doing Italian first. At the beginning, the game was only in English. I was doing English first, and I started translating, but I was keeping English first. For a while, I was good enough to have English, Russian, and Italian going out at the same time, but it has a huge impact in my life, so I stopped doing that. Anyway, I hope I gave you an overview about how levels are created. I actually made this video a year ago, and if I look at myself, I can't even recognize myself, but you can have a look. So, can you? And it really doesn't look like me. That said, thank you for watching. I'm sorry if I cannot always make videos in English. If you like this content, you can follow this channel and just ignore Italian videos. Sorry, one day I will find a better solution. I think I'm moving my hands too much for an English person.